What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. This your host Trey. That's my co-host and homeboy Face.
What up, world?
And we got a lot to talk about today, you guys. I mean, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. What's really
hey,
going on, man? What's really good? That was
hey,
a hell of a fight last night, brother.
hey, that was a beatdown. That shit was one sided. It wasn't no hell of a fight. It was a hell of a performance by Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford did exactly what I said he was gonna do, and I knew when that boy opened his mouth, he set himself up for that trap, man. You can't talk to people like that and think a person ain't gonna put that in their checklist. I knew it was gonna be a knockout. I told you he didn't want no decision. He made the decision when he opened his mouth and said this is what he wanted a whole year. Okay, okay. He would taste the leather from the beginning of the fight.
hmm
He tasted leather from the beginning of the fight. Terrence Crawford was too crisp. He was too good on defense. He let him hit him until he knew he knocked the fight out of him. And that's
Yeah,
when he let
bro.
him hit
Look, listen,
him.
bro. It's just like I said, or like we both said. Okay, when we were sitting down with good old Malachi, man, old Coach Malachi.
Coach Malachi.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Malachi and True USA Media Boxing. All right, check him
He was
out.
at the fight last night.
Oh, he
You
was
know he
at
was
the
there.
fight. Yeah,
Yeah, he
okay,
was there.
of course, man. So like whether you're starting at the beginning of the fight, the second round when Spence was knocked down for the first time in his career.
Two times in one round, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Then you go to the seventh round. The seventh round, he was already knocked down for the third time. If they would have had a three knockdown rule, it'd have been dead in the seventh.
But you got to knock him down three times in the same round.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
no. Usually a three knockdown rule means three times period in the fight. That's how Tyson lost to Lennox Lewis. Tyson lost to Lennox Lewis because they had a three knockdown rule. And on the first knockdown, Tyson went to duck and went down like this. But when he went down, he never like hit the ground or anything, but he went so low to the ground that the ref thought that he got knocked down and just hopped back up. So he got a knockdown for that. Then he got a knockdown again. Tyson went down again to duck to do the peekaboo. And when he went down the peekaboo, Lennox Lewis nudged him with the elbow and pushed him over. You know what I'm saying? That was two knockdowns. All right. And then the third knockdown, he actually knocked Tyson down.
But listen, we ain't talk about Tyson. We ain't talk about Lennox Lewis.
Nah.
We talk
Uh-uh.
about Earl Peter Rose just got the last night, man. Listen, you hear me? Man, he
Man, look,
destroyed that boy, man.
bruh, it came down to exactly what we said, man. Like, okay, so when you dealing with a boxer of the skill level of Terrence Crawford, first off, 40 and 0 now. All right. Salute to Terrence Crawford making it to 40 and 0 now, first and foremost. All right.
He made
Second
more
off, salute to
moves.
Terrence Crawford again for being the first champion ever to be undisputed at two different weight classes, holding all four belts. You heard it, all four belts at two different weight classes. Like the dude's historic, right? But at the end of the day, it came down to the fact that his experience was 10 times greater than the experience that Errol Spence had, or at least showed when he got in the ring, man. You can't be the dude who is gonna press the put the pressure on the other boxer if you are fighting a boxer who's a counterpuncher. That's like me fighting you, Face, and you being here setting up. Your whole game is to set me into a trap. So you finna lull me into a spot so that you can take the angle and hit me. Okay?
But guess
And
what?
I'm walking into the spot every time. Like they did.
Terrence, Terrence was coming. He didn't even let it get to that. He was coming.
Man,
Listen,
he wasn't coming. It looked like he was coming because Errol Spence was walking forward so much. Errol Spence
everything
wasn't.
Earl threw. Listen, everything Earl threw was getting covered. Boom,
That's
boom,
what I'm
boom,
saying.
everything.
That's what I'm saying.
He was so much quicker than him. That's why I say watch the
No,
feet.
it wasn't a
That's why I
quicker.
say watch the feet.
It
This
looked,
man was so much quicker than
bruh,
him.
brother, it wasn't a quicker. Here's what's happening, okay? Oh, let me tell you. Here's what's
He was
happening.
quicker. He
Here's
was
what's
more
happening.
experienced.
It's not that he was quicker. He was more efficient. He understood and saw what was happening before it was happening. Okay, that's like if I was to explain it, he felt the glow. He got the Bruce Leroy glow and was seeing the punch before the punch was coming because he's watched enough film to know. If you remember correctly, okay, before the fight, everybody was talking about Errol Spence. He's gonna have to close the distance because he doesn't have the reach. And when he gets inside, he throws that jab. And then if he doesn't throw that jab, he hits you with that body punch. Well, if you looked at the fight last night, Terrence Bud Crawford adjusted his actual hand level of where he guards himself in the whole fight. Okay, it wasn't up here like it normally is. It was more down here, more so he could protect against those lower shots while still guarding his face. He was doing his whole guard was set up different. His
Crawford was
whole
standing
guard was
up
set
for
up
everybody
different,
else.
brother.
Did you see when he hit him in his body one time? Then he hit him in
Yeah,
the body. Then it looked like he was ducking a
yeah,
gunshot. When he hit him,
yeah. He said it looked like he was ducking the gunshot.
it looked like
Blah.
somebody was shooting a gun at him. He turned his body out. Hey man, he was trying to get out of the way of that shit. He was punishing that man's body, man.
Oh, I know he
He was
was.
destroying that boy from the opening bell.
But
He
bro, that's
destroyed
what I that's
that.
what I'm saying. He was outclassed before the fight even started because of the fact that
But you gotta
Terrence
understand something.
Crawford's experience. Okay, his experience is what just beat the brakes off of Errol Spence. Errol Spence was walking into bait and switch like no other last night, man.
If, if you if you look at the if you just look at his face at the end of the fight and
Yeah,
listen to
that's what I'm
what
trying to
and
say. He was
listen to what
walking into.
but listen to what Terrence Crawford said. He said, "Man, you a hell of a fighter. I don't know how to tell you this." He said, "I appreciate you giving me this opportunity, just the humbleness of this dude." You know what I'm saying?
No, yes,
Man, hey,
man.
that was crazy, man.
Hold
It's
up now.
just
Now, so you know they finna fight
it,
again, right?
it don't matter. It don't matter.
I
He
know it don't
can't be
matter, but the question is, who actually wants to see the fight again? Even if you bump it up to 154 pounds, like you're talking about, you bump it up to 154 pounds, you ain't fighting for no belt at all. It's just a
man.
154-pound fight. Even if you do that, okay, can Errol Spence learn enough in between this now and then? Okay,
He learned so much last night. He learned humility. He gonna learn how to humble himself and understand for real. Listen, let me show you something. Crawford don't throw a whole lot of punches anyway.
no,
He not, but he's a precision puncher. When he
yes,
let his hands go, he already got an intended target. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? He's not a volume puncher.
Because it's
Errol
a
Spence,
counter punch.
yeah, it's a
When you're a counter puncher, everything that you're doing is is premeditated. Okay, everything you're doing is premeditated. You have already your main goal is to get him to point X so that you can hit him with the Y. You know what I'm saying?
usually, but he'll take his time and collect the data throughout the fight, and he'll pick up the pace like the fourth and fifth
Not last
round.
night though.
Last night, he was doing that, but by him coming and throwing his jab, and his jab being so crisp, I seen him a couple of times hit him with a jab and almost buckle this dude, man.
A couple
And
times, not just a couple times. It was that this was happening consistently in the
the
fight.
hand speed, the hand speed was just so much different. Every time Spence throw a punch, he getting the cover. He wasn't getting nothing in. But I
Hmm.
always tell, like I was telling people, watch the feet. Look how he was positioning himself where he could do what he was doing and make
That's
it look
why
so
I keep
effortless.
saying, remember, when me and you and Malachi were talking, right? I said that me and Malachi both agreed that it all starts with the footwork. Okay,
Oh yeah.
Malachi went to say something about the footwork, and I started talking about the fact that the footwork creates the angles for you to counterpunch. And that is where the advantage will be won by one Terrence Crawford. Okay. Bud Crawford, it's his footwork is setting him up for the angle to hit you with that counter punch. That's what I'm saying when I'm saying that. Okay, Errol Spence is closing space. He's getting closer, all right, to Terrence Crawford throughout the fight, closer and closer. He keeps coming forward, and it looks like Terrence Crawford's coming forward too, but he's not. Terrence Crawford is standing pat in one spot. Okay, and when Errol Spence comes forward, Terrence Crawford hits an angle, side step, front step, left, whatever he is doing, you pick the angle because he's hitting. As soon as he sees how Errol Spence is lined up, he counters. His footwork automatically counters, so that as soon as it looks like Errol Spence is getting ready to throw a punch, the punch has already been connected by Terrence Crawford.
On the bike all night. Errol Spence was back there. He was on the bicycle all night last night.
Only because he was getting hit. That hit, the punches was putting him on the back pedal. Not him not walking. He walking forward. He ain't walking backwards. Okay, he wasn't getting stalked around the ring. It's just when he got hit, every time he got hit, it stepped in behind back.
He got ran through. He ripped him out the plastic last night. He was
All rip now. Yeah, all rip.
He ran through that boy last night, man.
Man, listen, man.
Listen, he got a couple of punches in to the point where, like, maybe if he was in the fight and he snuck Bud with one of them, he could have probably hurt him. He hit him with a couple, but he didn't have his legs, and Bud wasn't even really trying to block that. He already seen him trying to wind up. That's why I said he's gonna knock him out.
He took his legs in the second round. He took his legs in the second round, dog. Ripped him up like I'm ripping this piece of paper right here. Ripped him up in the second round. Okay, and we ain't even talking about the seventh.
That looked like that could have been a 2023 Batman movie. Bang, pow.
Ooh. Oh man! All right.
Boy, call for Batman. He gonna play Batman. I'm telling you.
Hey, so hold up, hey, let me ask you a question then, man. So if they go up to 154, like they're talking about, which that means no titles will be on the line. This is just a fight for a fight sake, just because of how badly, okay, Terrence Crawford whooped him. But at the same time, Terrence Crawford will be giving up something by going all the way up to that 154. He ain't been there yet. So,
what's in it for Spence? Just
well, no, they got to do the fight. It's a clause in the fight.
So he can't win the belt back?
No, he can win the belt back, but right now people aren't interested in seeing the fight. When you look on Twitter right now, and you look on Instagram, and you look on all social media, and you just watch ESPN, right now people are saying they are not interested in seeing these two fight again. So to make it interesting, okay, because it was such a clowning, all right, they're talking about going up to the 154, all right, where Spence wants to fight at. Spence wants to fight at 154. He wants to go up in weight. Okay. And Terrence Crawford has not fought at that weight yet. He could probably make it. But at the end of the day, it would be for no titles if they fought at 154. It would be a straight up fight just for the pride and for the records. Now,
listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Errol Spence as a fighter.
He ain't ready. Like I said before, he wasn't ready, man.
But we all know this too. That shit is like any given Sunday. It is any given Sunday.
It is.
You might not know how this man wake up feeling the night of the day of the fight. He might not feel it. It just. I'm not gonna say what happened in another fight because
all I know is when you look at the thumbnail that I'm making for this video, right? And you look at that picture with Terrence Crawford, with Errol Spence with the hat on, okay, and his face red, eyes puffy, Like
Hey, that's cool. He was in a fight. He was in a fight with a hell
when
of
it,
a fighter.
he
He
was,
was in a fight with
he
a
was,
hold on.
who had a lot more experience than him,
Okay,
a
listen.
lot more experience than
That's
him.
what I'm saying.
But
But guess what?
like
But guess
it's
what?
not.
When his eyes heal and his pride get out the way, I'm not saying that he might learn something from this fight that he ain't learned in none of the other fights because he never seen a dude like Bud. So by him going through it and experiencing that, it's
So you
possible
saying
that if
this
he
is
got that
Rocky moment? That's
skill,
what you're
if he
saying.
got
This
that,
this this could be his Rocky moment. This could be Errol
but
Spence's Rocky moment. That's what you're saying.
if he got that fighting spirit in him, though,
Oh,
I
I
want another
look.
man. Hey,
I believe the young man got the
but guess
dog in him.
what?
It's not
Guess
about
what?
the
But guess
dog.
what? If he
Sometimes you're
land,
going against Achilles.
if he
Sometimes
lands
you going
some
against
punches,
Achilles and you Hector.
hey, if Earl Spence lands some of them punches that he was throwing, right? Just say this, and his confidence go to getting built, and he making Bud think twice. Something it don't it's like I understand Bud was he had a better night, and I think he the better fighter. I do think,
I think
but I'm
Bud
not
way better fighter.
okay. But I'm not saying that Spence don't deserve another shot. I'm not saying that because guess what? He had a long time to think about this. That could have worked against him. Just like you feel what I'm saying? You could have,
No,
cause you know that adrenaline, and you trying to live, so it could have worked against him. He might know how to woo-saw and bring himself in and at least give it a better fight. I'm not saying that he will beat Crawford. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the man deserves to at least get a rematch.
well,
Cause I
look,
feel like
he
he
gonna
a
get a
better
chance.
fighter.
He gonna get a chance to get his lick back. But the question is, when he get that lick back, is he actually gonna connect, or is it gonna be another counter?
I seen I think he beat it out of him. I'm gonna sit here and I don't go. I'm saying as a man he deserved it. But at the end of the day, I think I seen him walk out the building last night. I think I. I swear,
Hey,
listen,
so you
I'm
saying
telling you,
that man's spirit walked out the ring in the second?
I
That's
think
what
I
you
seen that
saying?
shit in the building
His
last
soul
night.
walked out his body when he fell, when he hit the ground in that second round and he got back up.
Hey,
You saying his
hey,
soul got up and just walked out the building like, nah, dawg, I'm good.
I think he really realized like, damn, it is like this nigga another
And
level.
like that. It is like that.
Sometimes, sometimes you gotta let them beat you up 2, 3 times for you to realize I can't do nothing with this one. You, hey, listen,
Man.
you fight for money. This ain't no backyard street fight, so you know you lost a game. You lost. It's just like you get what I'm saying. It happens in sport.
Man,
But
look,
what I'm
no, hold
saying,
on now. Hold on. I'm gonna give you an example. I just came from a beauty pageant, okay, in Orlando. National American Miss. My daughter came in second place in fun fitness. She did not make the top 10 in overall this year, but she did qualify for nationals. Okay. She's 7 years old. She was going against girls that were 10 years old. All right. Now, at the end of the competition, okay, when my daughter did not finish in the top 10, okay, like she did in the previous year, first thing my daughter come to me and say is that she understands that, you know, she couldn't. If there's gonna be winners and there's gonna be losers, and everybody ain't gonna win, and it's just about competing and stuff, right? She come to me and say that, and then after that, she comes back to me and she's like, "But at the end of the day, and I'm not, and I'm paraphrasing now because my daughter didn't say at the end of the day. She's 7 years old, but she says at the end of the day, I came in second place. I still placed in an event. Now, I bring all that up, brother, because we talking about a boxer who just got the brakes beat off of him. Errol Spence's soul just got taken in front of the whole world. Okay. Now, if he is half the salt or half the boxer that we all think he is, he ain't gonna flake out like we're talking about right now. He's not going. His soul might have walked out of the ring at one point in time within that fight because he knew he lost that portion of the fight. But I think he's looking at it more as a battle. Now, is this a money grab? Are we trying to get to the dollars, or are we gonna make it a real fight? I don't think we should do the 154. I think you should put the belts back up. If y'all gonna fight again, you should be fighting for the belts. Okay, that's what you do. All right, you don't just fight a fight to fight a fight. All right, I don't care if that's what the world wants to see or not. If you can't sell that fight for all those belts in a rematch, then obviously, okay, it's about the money. Because I've seen fighters take fights that wasn't supposed to be a fight. They supposed to be taken, okay, for a cheaper fight and lose or win. But I've seen it happen. So I know they've got some kind of control over what they're deciding on, what they're gonna take and what's gonna happen. And it doesn't really matter if the world wants to see the fight. It's about whether or not you two want to get back in the ring and fight. I believe Errol Spence is gonna get back out there and fight. Now, I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think he stands a chance in Snowball's chance in HELL. But at the end of the day, you know, if you don't level up, you level down. And last time I checked, this is boxing. And if he does not stay relevant right now, if he doesn't do something right, if he doesn't decide to not eat any Mike bites, because I saw him with the box of Mike bites, and I saw him with the pre rolls from Mike Tyson and the Mike Tyson 2.0. I seen him with all that. Okay, yeah, I seen Mike send him all that, so I seen him with all that. You got to set that down if you want to have this fight. You can set all that stuff down right now because the boy you're fighting right now, he's Achilles and you Hector.
Guess what though? That could just be for marketing too. You know what I mean? To help.
I'm not even marketing that if I'm a boxer. If I'm a boxer and I'm actively boxing, I'm not going to market that. That's like a boxer out marketing cigarettes.
At the same time, right? You Errol Spence lost the That's all he did. This is the hardest sport because you don't have really no help at all. You can't have an off night in a boxing because it's you against a person, and if that person is on his game and you offer a little bit that night, it'll make you look bad as hell. So I'm gonna just say he had a bad night. I'm not saying that whether he'll beat him or not, but I can't say that he can't just not beat him. Far as what if he have an off night? You see what I'm saying? So I just feel like they should, understand that this dude is like it's a one-on-one thing. If if Tom Brady have an off game, a running back can save him. A tight end can save him. You feel what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Somebody can
football.
save
But
the
if
game.
we talking about
But
combat, hold up. But we talking about combat sports right now. We ain't talking about no
I'm just
team
saying,
sport. When you talking
how they
about
fight.
combat sport, when you talking about combat sports, okay, or any one person sport, okay, you could be talking about golf. There is no off nights or off days when you're talking about a sport where there's not a team and it's one person, okay. And if you have an off day, that could cost you everything that you have. I honestly feel now that's why I'm telling you this fight, this one fight, this decision for Errol Spence to fight Terrence Crawford can cost Errol Spence everything he has. Everything.
Not really, not really,
Everything.
because guess what?
Yeah.
You
I'm
you
saying
got
that.
you have to think about it like this, Trey. He got done like this by a person who never lost.
Doesn't matter. You never
Those,
lost
like I
either.
said,
He never lost
you
either.
to a fighter who lost 3, 4 fights. So you feel what I'm saying? This is a top brass fighter. So if you lose to him, I don't feel like you gonna lose everything in your boxing career. Because guess what? It's gonna be a whole lot of people that spit and make him look just
A lot of
worse
times
and
it's
worse.
about how you lose. And you got to understand, we're talking about dying sport. Right now, okay,
It ain't no,
look, hold up.
it ain't no,
Let's be keep it 100 right now. Okay, the average
he knocked
person,
him out.
the average, the way he beat him though, brother, he
He
knocked him
did
on the
it.
ground 4 times. He knocked him
He beat
down
him
four
into
times.
submission.
He didn't beat him
No, he beat
submission.
him into
He ain't
submission.
submit. The ref stopped it
Listen,
because the ref got
listen,
tired of watching him getting the
listen.
brakes beat off
That's
of
how
him.
I look at
Like,
Tyson. That's
and
how I look
this
at
is what I'm
Tyson.
saying. Face. This is what I'm saying, right? Okay. The young man not only got the brakes beat off of him, right? But is playing his sport is like the running back in the NFL. Okay, it's a position or a sport that doesn't garner the respect that you would think it should. Now, I'm not saying anything against boxing because I like boxing and I like UFC, but UFC is what people paying attention to more than boxing. There's not a lot of boxers. There's not a lot of boxers out there right now for him to box. That's why you keep seeing boxers keep going to go box UFC people for money. Okay, that's why that's happening because boxing is almost like a dying sport right now. It's trying to make a comeback. It really needed this fight to be a better fight than it was. So this could kill Errol Spence's career, brother. He's got to come back to this next fight. He's got to
I'm
first off, he's got to
gonna tell
exercise
you.
his right for the next fight,
I'm gonna tell you
and then
what.
after he exercises right, he got to actually stand up. He ain't got to win, but he got to stand up in the paint because there ain't too many other good
Let
boxers you can get money off of right now.
me tell you something. Just by the fact that Terrence Crawford showed the humbleness that he showed and left him with his pride for that'll be harder for Spence to beat him than anything else because he gonna look at the fact that damn this dude ain't shit on me once he beat me. You get what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
had told me that I was a good fighter. So maybe those words of encouragement could actually make him go and get better. You know what I'm saying? Because if the dude beat you and he ain't trying to humiliate you, and it depends on how the words sunk into him. That's why I say Terrence
that's
Crawford
gonna make it
is
even
a
harder for him to beat the brakes off of him because he ain't talk trash afterwards. Terrence Crawford
that's
didn't
so
talk. That's what is
he's
going to
gonna
make
be a
it
hell
even
of a fight.
harder for Errol Spence. No, that's going to make it even harder for Errol Spence. 'Cause Errol
That's what
Spence,
I just said.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's gonna make it harder because of the humility, the humbleness that he showed him, and
That's
the fact that he showed.
that's why I'm saying that this could be the end of Errol Spence. It could be the end of
I
his
don't think
career right
it's
here.
gonna
I'm not when I say the
I
end of
don't
his
think
career, I'm not saying that the man ain't never gonna box again or nothing like that, but he ain't never gonna get to a check. He's not gonna get a big fight again after he does this fight because he's gonna end up okay. I'm predicting it right now, okay, that if they do fight again, that it won't be for any belts. And if that has to happen for him to fight him, that is the most embarrassing thing that can happen in boxing. So you just lost the belts to this guy, and now you're getting a rematch, and you're not even getting a rematch for the belts. And then let's just say he loses again. He loses again. That's over. Boxing is a one loss, two loss, five loss at the max sport. You could, yeah, yeah, yeah. You lose in boxing. You lose like that in boxing, especially in the pay per view era. All right. You do not get promoted like you used to. You do not get to that check like you used to. That's just keeping it 100. You got to keep a pristine record. All right. If your one
how
loss
far I got my
multiplies into two all of a sudden, and you get
how
the
many
brakes
losses
beat
how
off
many
you,
losses I got? Still,
what's
I think
up?
I done lost. I think I
No.
done lost about 7 times.
Yeah, he done lost about five times, brother. Pacquiao never had it wasn't for Pacquiao. It wasn't about the undefeated record.
Yeah.
Pacquiao had 55 wins, 60
It
wins.
depends. It
Okay, he went
depends
through
on the
multiple
record.
weight divisions and won at every single weight division. That's what it was about
That's what I'm
Pacquiao.
telling you.
You love to try to take this to Pacquiao.
No, I'm saying for the losses. What I'm saying it depends on the competitor, the
When
competitors of
Pacquiao was
war.
fighting, when Pacquiao was fighting,
The
name all the
heavyweight
that's
division,
what I'm saying.
the
Name
heavyweight
all the
division,
boxers.
the heavyweight division is damn the dead in boxing.
No,
If you if you
I'm
look
what
at
I'm
that,
saying.
the,
Name all the boxers
it's
that
the
was out
light
there.
division.
Name all the boxers that was out there when Pacquiao was boxing like that. There was a lot of them. The
What you
average
about
person can
Pacquiao?
name, and that's what I'm trying to say. The average
I'm just
person
saying
could
for
name Miguel
as far
Cotto,
as his losses, it depends
Felix
on
Trinidad.
it depends on who you're losing to.
I can keep naming
It
names,
still
but
depends on
you
who
don't
you're
have names
losing
like that in boxing anymore. They don't have names like that. They
You
don't.
don't hear what you don't even hear what I'm saying. if you losing the people that you're not supposed to lose to, that could hurt your career. If you fighting another undefeated fighter and you lose, how is that going to hurt your
Hold up,
career?
Pacquiao
You
lost
fighting
to
another
Pacquiao
undefeated
lost to
fighter.
the most undefeated. He lost to he lost
I'm not.
to Mayweather. He lost to
But you
Mayweather,
still, you
and that
still
hurt
missing
his
the point.
career. Hold
You
up,
still missing the point.
that's what
Pacquiao
I'm not.
lost.
Can't be missing the point.
Hold up.
Pacquiao fought an undefeated
Pacquiao lost
fighter,
to
and
Mayweather
yeah,
a couple times. He lost to Marquez.
no,
These
one
are all.
time they only fought once. They never fought again.
But I'm saying these the type of fighters. This is why he could still lose and still be a money bout. Because guess what? He's not losing the bums that he's not supposed to lose to. He's losing the fighters
Do you
that
think
okay
Sean
they
Porter's
successful.
gonna get another chance to get in the ring with a big money fight? No,
Yeah,
he's not.
he might end up
No, he's not.
if
I might. He's not.
he
Sean
might
Porter's
end
not
up
going to get
fighting
any more
back.
big fights. Sean Porter's not going to get any more big fights. Who wants to fight? Who wants to fight the guy that got beat by the guy that he got beat by the guy too, but he
Okay,
also got beat
he
by
got time.
the guy that
What if
just got embarrassed by the guy.
okay, what if we take on a couple of these fighters that's supposed to be the next in line to contend, and he beat them
Man,
in
these
the same
boxers fight
fashion?
once a
He's
year.
gonna be
These
right back. He's
boxers
gonna be
fight
right
once
back
a
at
year.
the
You
top.
talking 4 years down the road? You talking
I ain't
three,
saying it's
4 years
4 years.
down the 3 then
If you
how
go,
many people are you gonna fight? They only fight once a year. They don't
it
fight
depends.
2, 3 fights a year no more. They don't
It
fight like
depends
that
on the
anymore.
competitors. Listen, it depends on the competitors of their weight class, as far as how many
And
competitors.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. There is no
If you
competitive.
fight a few of
It's
these
not a
fighters, and
name another
listen,
fighter in the weight class. Name another one. You can't.
I'm just saying,
Because
Bud
I'm
Crawford
saying no.
was
I'm
able to
saying
say
you
he couldn't
can't.
beat
Look,
those two.
I'm not disparaging you, but if I'm saying you can't, because I can't name another one that's like that. Because guess what? All the ones that's like that already got their behinds whooped by these two dudes. So there's
That's
nobody
what I'm
else.
telling you.
Okay, so it's not
So,
like it.
he's gonna get the
So
money in between. The top fighter ain't the only one to get the money, is what I'm saying. You have other fighters within his weight division that'll be good fights that'll draw a crowd. Trust me. It might be somebody he
trust
already
you,
fought.
face.
It
How
might be
many
somebody
fights do
he
you
already
hear?
beat.
There was a fight. There was a fight last weekend. Did you hear about it? No.
Well,
There was a fight, a major fight last weekend. What you call it covered it. The
yeah, frequent, yeah,
Malachi just got done covering it. All right, it
yeah,
was a
frequent, yeah.
on INOU, the Chinese guy, okay,
Yeah,
versus the
other
black
white
dude.
guy,
Did
freak dude.
anybody hear about that? If you heard about that fight, hold on. If you heard about that fight and knew about that fight, tell me in the comments that you knew about that fight coming.
You
Tell
know
me in
what
the
I just
comments you
said?
know that you pay attention to the Asian kid, the INOUE or whatever the heck his name is.
You
Tell
know
me
what
you
I
pay
just said?
that if you pay attention. This is what I'm explaining to everyone out here in the world right now. Boxing is not like it was. Okay, therefore the money is not. That's why you have boxers fighting UFC fighters to go get money. Not fighting other boxers. No, they go fight UFC fighters so they can get some money. Okay, because there's not enough. Hold up, because it's not like they can't get money in their own sport because they're still participating in their own sport. It's
UFC,
just the fact that
UFC fighters
there's
ain't
no
getting
big
that much money
names.
back.
There's no big names in their
They just
sport.
what
I
that's
can
like
see Bud Crawford go. I can see Bud Crawford go beat up the what is it, Grote or Poirier next. The UFC fighters. See him go fight them. I can see that happening
they ain't doing
in the
that.
boxing
They ain't
ring.
doing that.
I
They
can see
ain't
that
doing that.
happening.
They just see the money that Mayweather them made off of it. You got some
And
people
I
trying to see.
and they
They
keep
trying to
going
see
back to that well.
if that crossbreeding that if crossbreeding a draw this type of crowd. That's probably what they try to see. But at the same time, the heavyweight division is watered down. It is like you say, it is like it ain't really no competition in the heavyweight division. But you have a little more competition once the weight classes go to going down where to keep it competitive enough where boxing. But the heavyweight division
Man, there's
is
only two dudes. There's only three other dudes out there. Okay, and they just managed to not be in the same weight division. Okay, that I would like be interested in watching Bud Crawford fight. or Errol Spence fight. And just happens that none of these guys are in the same weight division. I'd be interested in seeing Canelo Alvarez jump in the ring. I'd be interested in seeing uh, what's the youngster's name? That I just man, he was just on the tip of my tongue. I'll be interested in seeing Canelo
Hey,
Alvarez. I'd be interested in
hey,
seeing Bud
hey,
Crawford go ahead
Trey.
and fight Haney.
Hey, Trey.
I'd be interested in seeing Bud Crawford go ahead and fight what's it,
Hey, Trey.
Tank Davis.
Here,
But none of these kids are in the same division, man. They ain't gonna fight, so that ain't gonna
no,
happen.
they not. They might make that happen.
How?
Tank and Bud.
How?
They,
How?
how big is Tank?
Tank, he's down in like the 20s, 120s or something like that, 130s. He ain't like he's low, bro. He's super low. Okay, they don't. You would have
As
to
he get a
go.
little older, he'll pick up a little weight though. But
Hold
we
on,
ain't
but
talking
then
about
hold up. But then he would also the higher
hold on.
division is Canelo Alvarez, and
I
he's
want
not
to ask
going to
you a
that
question.
division either.
I
So
want to ask you a question.
yeah,
Do you think Earl Spence is gonna go to a restaurant and try to order that
for the what that behind whooping he just took.
some fresh leather? He just wants some fried fresh leather. He was tasting so much leather last night. He might
Man,
have an appetite for that kind of man. He was eating them gloves all night last night, man. That was crazy, man. He know what leather tastes like, literally for real, man.
for real, you can see it on his face.
That was crazy. But guess what? It's just a fight. You know what I mean? And we talk about it, but that could be he lost to the one of the greatest fighters of our time, man. I'm gonna just say that. It ain't like he lost to
No,
no.
no,
Yeah,
no,
he is.
no, no,
Terrence
no,
Crawford is
no,
one of the
no,
greatest fighters of
no,
our
no,
time.
no. He is one of the greatest fighters of this time, present
That's what
time
I'm
that we
saying.
are walking around in right now. My time and your time is a lot before
My
this, with a lot
still
better
going on.
fighters, with a lot
My
better
time is
fighters.
still. I'm
They're
still
like
here. I'm still
you
here,
might
so
look. I'm not saying you ain't here, but I'm saying I'm not putting him in the upper echelon of of the greats that fought a
why
whole bunch
not?
of other greats because they fought a
Why
whole bunch
not?
of other great fighters. They
He
fought a
done
whole
fought
bunch of great
40
fighters.
times.
He ain't fought no whole bunch of
He's
great
40 and
fighters.
0.
He's a good fighter. He's 40 and 0. He's fought whoever they put in front of him. But the people aren't great fighters. The
It
era
don't
of
matter.
fighting in the
It don't
80s
matter.
and in the 90s
It don't
and
matter.
even in the early
You jump.
2000s
Hey,
was 100
listen,
times better than
listen,
what we are watching right now.
listen. Okay, listen. You just jump off the curb on 1 foot 40
No,
times. Hold on. So listen. You can just jump off the curb up and down with 1 foot 40 times. You hear me? You got a chance to slip, fall, or hurt yourself off just jumping up and down off the curb. So you done fought 40 different people, bro. You feel me?
bruh.
And you have fought the way that you fought.
Face,
I gotta give you one of the
face,
greatest fighters of all time.
face,
You in this era, bro, people
face,
don't go 40 and 0. You
face.
feel what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
What are you talking about? We got another
He,
undefeated fighter out there
that's
that
what
came
I'm
from a
saying.
previous era that has made it into undefeatedness. Okay? And I guarantee if you put him in the ring with some of these other fighters that me and you have already discussed, the older fighters from previous eras, he wouldn't be undefeated. Like, we already discussed the fact that that fighter has picked and cherry picked his way to where he got to. And I'm not accusing Bud of that. I'm
Oh,
not
you saying
saying Bud cherry picked
that
anything.
Bud is
But you just
so
no,
Bud
I'm not
is
saying
done?
that. I'm not
You
saying
saying
that, bro.
Floyd need to come out of retirement and fight, Bud?
No, because it's not a different. It's a different weight class. They don't fight the same weight class. It can't happen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, there's not enough fighters out there because there's no fighters. Their weight classes. That weight class is like there's nothing there. There's nothing for him to fight now.
Okay,
Nothing.
okay.
That's what I'm
Tell me,
saying.
tell me this here. Tell me one sport. Just tell me one sport that it's easy to go 40 and 0. I don't care who you play. one sport where it's easy to go
Brother, I'm
to
not
get fit.
saying that it was not that it wasn't hard. I'm not saying it wasn't hard. I'm not disparaging what he's done. And like in his era and in his time frame. That's great.
He's one of the
But
greatest
I'm not
fighters.
putting him, I'm not saying this man is a GOAT. Okay. I can't name another great fighter you fought. I can't name one. I can't name one. Okay, but I can name a whole bunch.
Hold on.
I can hold on. I can name a whole bunch that we can. If you want to talk Hearns, you want to talk Hagler, you want to talk Sugar Ray Leonard, you want to talk Mike Tyson, you want to talk Evander Holyfield, you want to get small again and go Roy Jones Jr. and them, you and Bernard Hopkins and like they fought a whole bunch of people because there was a whole bunch of great fighters in their era. Which that's why I'm saying I'm not holding this against Bud that there's not a whole bunch of great fighters in his era, but there's not. There's not. You know, he's a good fighter. He's great for his era, but he ain't on the.
You saying listen. This is what you said. You saying great fighters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but any fighter could come that day. He don't have to be considered great. He's a fighter. Listen, you laughing.
No, I'm laughing because if I'm a professional, hold up. If I'm a professional, okay, like Bud Crawford is, and you fighting as a professional, that means I'm preparing every single fight, just like he preparing. I could lose, yes, but if my preparation and my studying and my coaching, because is great, then guess what? I'm gonna be great. I'm not saying the man ain't great, but I'm saying there's not anybody else great. That's what I'm saying. There's no one else that's great.
He not you don't have to say he's the greatest of all time, but he is one of the greatest fighters
of his era. Of his era. Of his era. Of this era. That's what I've been saying. Face.
He only match up to what's in his era, though.
No, he can't because there's other people we compare against all eras. There's other boxers, other fighters, other champions we compare against all eras. Face.
But if you can't actually box them, how you gonna say that?
Face.
If these two fighters can't actually fight each other, you can only say what.
So you don't compare Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. You don't compare George Foreman and Mike Tyson. We just did it on the podcast the other day.
But they all got the respect that they have. I was saying, Mike Tyson, hey, what?
They got the respect that they have because of who they fought, the many champions and many greats that they fought. That's where they got their respect.
How many nobody they done fought? How many nobody Mike Tyson done fought? Peter McNeely's and all this shit.
Yeah, how many Hall of Famers he done fought? How many Hall of Famers he done fought? How many Hall of Famers he done fought though, bro? Face. I'm not. What I'm saying. So you agree with me then? You agree with me? So what you saying is you agree. You agree that he's good for his era. But he ain't one of the greatest of all time.
A lot of these greatest of all time, they fight great fighters every time they fought. Right?
I'm not talking about every time. I'm talking about the majority of having a lot of fights against great fighters. Who do you think?
How you think they get considered a fight?
Name three. Look, I'm gonna keep it simple. This is everything in three media, right? Name three Hall of Fame fighters that he has fought. Three fighters. Look at your phone out. So if it is what it is. You believe what you believe about this young man. I believe what I believe. I believe he's a great fighter. So let's not get that twisted. I'm not saying the man ain't no great fighter, but what I am saying is that I'm not putting him on the GOAT on the GOAT Mountain. Okay. He has not joined GOAT Mountain.
How many fights has he done?
I didn't say nothing about ducking. I didn't say nothing about ducking.
That's what. Listen. So whatever my competition is, I can't help because a
Look,
person don't perform
I
like
don't.
me.
I'm
I
going to give
can't
you an
help because
example. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you an example that we're not talking about him. We're talking about another boxer. Okay. Uh, Klitschko. Klitschko didn't duck any wreck. He fought everybody that was able to be fought. But guess what? Klitschko never fought nobody.
listen,
He fought everybody that was able to be fought, but he still didn't
listen.
fight anybody because there was
Listen,
no one there.
when you say it's like when you bring out the Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler, you got to understand something. At that point in time, you just had a whole bunch of fighters that was on
That
the
were great
same
fighters.
level.
That were great fighters, and that's what I'm
That
saying.
was that ain't happening
That's
all the
what I'm
time.
saying. That is what
That
I'm
ain't
saying.
happening all the time. So what I'm saying is this: if I don't fought everybody that y'all put in front of me, I done beat them. I'm 40 years old. I'm the greatest in my time because I done beat everybody that's in my era. I can't go back 30 years and beat Muhammad Ali. I can't do that. So what I'm saying is, in this era, in his timeless era, this man is one of the greatest fighters that we done seen. He done went to 4 different weight classes. He done fought different people in different weight classes. What else can he do to be considered great? It's not his fault if y'all don't consider the people who y'all put before him great. You're not gonna have a whole bunch of great fighters fighting in the same division. It don't happen like that.
It used
That's
to.
very rare.
It
That's
used
very
to.
rare to have
It used to. I can
a
remember.
great
I can
fight.
remember a 20-year span, almost a 30-year span where it was happening, but it's not
Well,
happening anymore.
well,
Where
that means the belt was just changing hands. That's when you had that type of era when the belt
you
just
don't.
changed
Yeah,
hands. A
over the
person holding
last.
on
If
to the
you go
belt.
from
If you
1980, if you go from look, there's a dude that works with me, right? Okay, named Joe Martin. All right. Joe can name every single title belt. Okay, heavyweight, lightweight,
I know where Joe
bantamweight,
is, Joe.
and welterweight.
I
No,
know
no,
where
hold
Joe
on.
is.
All the way. Oh yeah, you remember Joe? Okay, all the way from the 1900s all the way to now. And if
Okay,
you
some
ask Joe
great
to
fighters.
list, if you ask Joe to list how many times the belts changed hands
How
in the
many great
80s,
fighters
the
Rocky
90s,
Marciano
and the
fought?
2000s, okay?
How
I'm
many
talking
great
about
fighters Rocky
stuff that we've
Marciano fought?
seen, Face. I'm talking about stuff that we've seen. Great era boxing. I didn't say Rocky Marciano fought. Do I even put Rocky Marciano on that list? Come on
No,
now.
listen.
If
Listen what I'm saying.
we're not like Rocky Marciano even like he's a great fighter, but
Okay,
he was out on
listen
that
what I'm saying.
list. There wasn't a whole bunch of
Listen
people
what
he
I'm
was
saying.
fighting.
Okay, listen. These fighters that these hold on. These fighters that Terrence Crawford have fought. You know how many fighters they had to beat to even fight this man? So you saying like he's just beating people who just coming out the crowd, okay, I'm gonna fight you. These dudes fighters, they're just not on his level, and that's not his fault. They think they are because they're in the same weight class. They prepare and train like he do, but it just don't translate in the ring. It's not his fault.
Face,
He gonna if he
face.
keep fighting,
I never
it's gonna
said it was
somebody
his
gonna come in.
fault. But what I said is he's not on the list. He's just not on the
Okay,
list. He ain't fought enough
he on
great
my list.
fighters. Some people can't make it on my list because guess what? My list consists of what you've done. Just like remember when I was talking about Wilt during basketball season and the fact that he couldn't that he dominated against all these other players.
This
But
man got
as soon as he run
4 different
across
weight classes.
as soon as he
This
run
man
across
been 4 different
somebody,
weight
as
classes.
soon as he run across somebody that is of the same persuasion as him and the same height, all of a sudden the
Nigga,
next
who
thing
got to
you
fight?
know, he didn't win. He can't win. But like this
Hey,
is
who Terrence Crawford got to fight? Who he
man.
got